Come on, stream, work. Work. God damn it. So, we're on. Right. Hi, guys. Welcome to my second stream. Tonight, I'm going to be moving forward with this illustration, and hopefully we'll be actually finishing it tonight. So, yeah, I'm gonna get started in a bit. I didn't actually have time to really set up, so yeah. I'm just going to be starting right now. Also, if you're hearing the crunching in the background, that's my cat eating, not me. I'm not eating on stream. I ate before. So I left off this illustration last night in the values part, and I'm going to go over this again for those of you who are wondering. Let me just set up this microphone so that I don't sound like I'm in a bunker or something. So I'm going to go over this again. So why this step? Why the black and white values? I did this because value is something totally different from color. So each color, or I don't know, each shade of color that you see in nature has a value called chroma and a value, like a simple value of light and dark. And different colors, like from different areas of the color spectrum, can have the same black and white value, the same dark and light value, but can be totally different colors and can have different chroma values. For example, if I pick this color here, if you convert it to black and white, it has this value. But at the same time, I can go like around the color wheel and that value doesn't change. But if anyway, it's hard to explain this with a color wheel, but you get the point. Or maybe you don't, but I recommended a book last night called Color and Light, and it's very well explained in there. Probably better than I can explain at this point because I'm a noob. But anyway, so going through this black and white phase is like the easiest way to establish where you want your really dark spots to be and how you want your lighting to affect your scene and your characters without having to think about color and what values of color you have to add and so on and so forth. So this is like a beginner step to shading, and it's really useful. And I did this, and I established that this foreground here is going to be very dark, and that the trees in front are going to be darker than the ones in the back, and that this character is going to have light on his right side, and that this deer is going to be yeah. So I basically established all the ways that I want to light the scene, basically. But I'm not quite happy with everything. Like, for example, this owl here is like really flat. I should totally give it some value. And I was using the greatest brush ever that I gave you guys to download from a Dropbox link. I posted it on my Facebook page. So you can find it there and you can play around with it. I find it, like I said last night, it's the greatest brush ever. It totally is. And I've done some research, and I think it's from this artist called Jama Jubaev or something. He has a really weird name. I'm not sure it's his, but I think it's from that pack. from his pack on digitalbrushes.tumblr.com. So yeah, and so I'm using this greatest brush ever to give some more values here. Get some more values in that. Because obviously I'm going to need them. And this is, I think this is the shadow layer. Yeah, I'm gonna darken this up a bit for more contrast. And this is kind of okay, I think. Yeah, this is kind of okay. Like, I'm gonna shade this part anyway. But roughly, yeah, these are my values. I think it looks even better now. If you guys who are watching have any questions at this point, feel free to use the chat. I'm going to check the chat as often as I can. I have it on my other screen. And hopefully, if you have, any questions, I can answer them, or at least I'll try answering them to the best of my ability. So this part is pretty much done, right? So we have this line art here and these lighting effects here. And I'm going to group this up in one big layer, one big group. And we also have the sketch on the bottom, but we'll just leave it at that. And this is going to be the values part. Now, I'm going to remove the line art from this group and put it on top again. And this values part, I'm just going to lower the opacity so that I can totally see what's going on here. And now I'm supposed to start putting in the color. And I had this color reference that Rajesh found last night, and he showed it to me, and it was really awesome. Like, it was a really nice color scheme. And I'm going to search for it right now because I want to find it. It was this digital painting with like turquoise and magenta. Oh, right, I found it. So I have it on my other screen, but I'm going to show it to you in a jiffy. Can I copy it? Yeah, there it is. So it's really tiny comparatively to my canvas, but you can sort of get an idea of what the colors for this illustration are going to be, because I want it to be like that, to get that twilight in winter feeling, color scheme, atmosphere. So I'm going to do that. And just like I started with the values, I'm going to start with a basic background for all of this. And I'm going to use this like bluish color for the background. And now it's all blue. I've talked about this extension last night. It's called Coolarus, and you can search for it online. They have a site there. You can try it for 14 days for free. And if you want to buy it, and I highly recommend buying it because it's really awesome, you can pay $11 and have 2 licenses for it. So you can activate it on 2 computers for $11 forever. And it's really awesome. You should totally buy it. I totally recommend it. It's like having an amazing painter's wheel with you. So there we are, right. So I'm going to turn down the opacity of the line art as well. And On this background, I'm going to start adding elements. Now, I usually, back when I started illustration, like seriously doing it, I used to do the shapes in Illustrator and afterwards copy paste them into Photoshop and paint over it. And usually that worked out for me really nice. But at some point I discovered that one of the most awesome illustrators that I really admired, and I mean, I really admire, but I had just discovered him and I was stalking him on Behance, and I found out that he had his name is Steve Simpson. I'm sure you've heard of him. And he had these amazing compositions with lots of characters and lots of details and stuff. And I was absolutely dumbfounded to find out that he worked all of those in Photoshop with the pen tool. And I started thinking that that was totally possible. I was like, yeah, I can totally skip the Illustrator part if it's not really that complicated, and just use the pen tool in Photoshop and just do it directly, and then stop wasting time with the layers and stuff. So I did that, and I found that it worked quite nicely. So so I just started doing it, and I'm going to do that for this illustration as well. I'm going to skip the Illustrator part. I'm going to do it directly in Photoshop and have the most control I have, like to texture and alter the shapes without having to copy paste everything. Now, this is my preferred workflow, but at the same time, it might not work for you. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm searching for a dark, deeper blue color, more towards purple actually, for the foreground, because I'm going to start off with my foreground and taking into account what I did with the values. Like if I set this layer to multiply, or no, yeah, I'm just going to put the values to 100%. So this background that I put on multiply, you can see here that, it kind of has to be in the same range, or to color. Yeah, I'm going to put it to color so you can sort of see what I'm going for value wise. So for the foreground, I'm going to need a really dark color to start filling in these trees. And why I'm using the pen tool and I'm not just filling in with regular brushes is because I find that this is kind of like, honestly, a time saver, because I can fill large surfaces, and I don't really worry a lot about the edges, because I can always just rasterize the layer, and I'll show you guys how if you don't know already how to do it. And I can rasterize the layer, and after I do that, I can totally I can alter the brushes, how not the brushes, the edges, however I want. Sorry, got distracted by my Facebook. What's going on my Facebook? Oh, okay. So random stuff. Nothing really too interesting for me. Oh, the comments. The sound, the sound of the comments, it's very distracting. I don't even know why I have that enabled. So I was talking about how I use the pen tool for these large surfaces, and I'm only just roughly going by what I already put into place for the edges in the sketch part, because I'm going to fix those edges anyway using brushes. So this is like a temporary large fill that I'm just using to cover a lot of surface and not waste a lot of time. And I'm coughing again, and this is horrible, and I might die. And I'm not a drama queen. Now, another thing that I like about, sorry for the creaking chair, that I like about using the pen tool is that you can very easily change the shape of the color of the shape. And I know you can, yeah, this extension has this setting that you can turn on, affect shape text layers. And now if I have my shape selected, no? What's going on? Oh, yeah, right. So it just did that. So now it kind of changes the shape color without me having to go to like the fill and select from there. And this is really awesome. So yeah, so you have to, you have to play around with the colors. You have to find out what works best. For me, sometimes I have like, I don't know, I like to call it divine inspiration. No, I don't. No, I don't believe in that. But sometimes I just figure out what colors I want to use and just use them, and they look great together. Other times I have to like actually make an effort and search a lot for the colors. So what I did now was I rasterized the layer, and now I can paint with my brush directly on it. And where I find that, the edges are not to my satisfaction, I can just go over the brush. And I'm using the same brush that I used last night for the sketch and for the value part as well. Like I'm using the same greatest brush ever because it's a multifunctional, multitasking, multi-gifted, amazing brush. And it's just great. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just going to leave it at that at some point. Like I have a lot of trees to cover. But this one being in the foreground, it's supposed to be, even though it's shaded, like it's one of the darkest areas. Actually, I think it's the darkest area of the illustration. Even though it's really dark, it's in the foreground and it should be detailed to some extent. And I have like these things, right? And what I want to do is I'm going to add, you see all these mushroomy type things that I have on the tree. I'm going to add those as well. So I'm just going to name this layer Big Dark Tree because it's a big dark tree. And because when I first started out, I worked very, very, chaotically. I did not organize my layers at all. And at some point, I began having like hundreds, literally hundreds of layers. And when I wanted to find one of them, it was hell. Like it took me longer to find the layer than actually make a new one and draw it from scratch. It was that bad. And so these mushrooms, what color do I want these mushrooms to be? They're going to be like this, I think. And I'm going to call this layer mushrooms. And I'm going to just start mushrooming in the mushrooms. This just looks like a lighter version, so maybe I'll go with a different, color for the mushrooms. I should turn off the line art. I'm just turning off the line art for a bit so that I can focus on the actual colors that I'm using here. Maybe I can make them like a yellow, a pale yellow for contrast, I think. And this can totally be like the shadow. I'm going to have like this. And I'm just going to fix the edges. Like I said I would. I always fix edges post actually drawing them. But it's too light, so I should probably go like for a darker, deeper yellow. So my 12 viewers, do you find any of this interesting? Actually, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm just looking for confirmation. Like maybe something like this. Nah, this is too weird. Nah. I'm just gonna go with a lighter thing. Because I want them to have like a closely related color. And they're also going to be in the dark foreground. and maybe have just, you know, like some subtle lighting on them. But I don't want them to be too attention grabbing, because then we'd have a big problem, because this tree is in the foreground, but it's a background element, right? So when we say that it's a background element, I mean that it is not a central figure in the story that this image is telling. This tree is not supposed to be one of the stars of this image. And if I start adding all sorts of colored stuff on it, I'm going to have a hard time shading it because I'm a noob. And I'm also going to probably find out that this tree will distract a lot of the attention from the character. And that is something that I do not want. So I'm just going to use this, you know, very subtle, lighter color for the moss or mushroom or whatever it is. And when I start shading, when I start actually rendering this, I'll figure out if I want to do something different with them. But I don't want to waste a lot of time doing this with these mushrooms, because it's kind of useless at this point. Also, theoretically, like I said at the beginning of this stream, I'm supposed to finish this illustration like tonight, which is going to be really interesting to see. I hope it's not impossible. I'm just going to turn off the opacity for the brush and just go blah, 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 wild. See, this brush is absolutely amazing. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. I have this really sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it really clear idea, but a pretty clear idea of what I want this illustration to look like in the end. And I'm probably going to be disappointed if I can't create, you know, that exact image. But I settle, you know, oftentimes when I start an illustration and I have this like moment of inspiration where something just clicks inside my head and I go, yeah, I know how I want this to look in the end. I have this very clear image of what I want in my head. And then I start working on it and I really try. I mean, I keep trying to make it fit with the mental image that I have in my head. And then it just doesn't work out like that. Like it just doesn't look at all maybe like what I thought it was going to look. But I go like, yeah, but this is good enough. I mean, this is pretty nice. And so I'm sort of used to that happening, like having a very clear idea of what I want to do and seeing the end result is like a totally different thing. So this is the big dark tree, and I moved it. No. And I'm going to just color in this branch as well. The branch for the little squirrel. The squirrely girly twirly. So yeah, this is the big dark tree with the big mushrooms. And let's link these layers just in case I move one of them. I know where the other one is. And I have this big glass of water that I just kind of spilled all over myself while attempting to drink. I am not the smartest person. Nope, I am not. So what's going on here? Right, so back to the illustration. So I think I said so like 5 times. Okay, stop it. Fine, so let's color pick this. So this is the color of the tree in the foreground. So the one that's further away is going to be a lighter, shade of this color. Maybe it will go a little towards purple again. but it's too light. So I'll just, something along these lines. I'm satisfied with this. For now, tree, for now. Might just change your color again at some point. Now I'm gonna fill this in. Right. So this is the other tree that's gonna have, it's gonna have its own nicks and stuff. And this is other tree. Other tree. And I'm going to create a new layer for these other trees that are going to be even lighter. I should fill in the squirrel. I'll do that after I finish this tree trunk. Background trees. Like I've said before, I'm a fan of layers. Squirrel. I misspelled squirrel. Seriously? Squirrel. Yeah, I'm a big fan of layers. Like I said, I can have up to, I don't know, 100, 200 layers in an illustration if I put my mind to it. And you know, that's usually something that is really cool, because you can never have like too many layers. You can always what's going on? You can always merge them down, but you can't create them out of scratch if they're not already there. So what's this, you might ask? Well, this is another extension that I have for Photoshop, and it's a custom brush panel by Jonas de Roo, who is an amazing concept artist and illustrator. And he's also one of the Level Up hosts. And he has this extension on his Gumroad page. It's like $1 or something, and it's totally worth it. It has a lot of brushes for speed painting and stuff. So it's basically a custom brush panel made for speed painters or digital painters or illustrators. But what I really like about it is the fact that it has this option called value tick. And here we are with our values again, because what it did, it created this layer, this hue saturation layer, where it desaturated the image. And it's really cool to check your values with. Another option, I wanted to show this to you guys. Another option that I found on the internet to check your values is, of course, you can always like group this, group the color layers and just turn them off and see if, you know, if it looks like, but sometimes that can be really annoying. So there's this other option. I'm just going to ungroup them because I want to see them all. Where you can go to proof setup, and you select from the custom one. I think it was dot gain 25, or yeah, 25%, I think. And you can see this by pressing Control Y on your keyboard, and you can turn it on and off, and you can totally check your values like that. Sorry for the awful coughing. I'm still sick, like I said, probably gonna die. And this is like, I think this is the best way to check your values, because it's really fast. You have it on your keyboard, and yeah. And then after you've checked your values like this, you can totally compare it to what you did in the first step and see if it matches up to your expectations. Because now I can go like, see, this illustrates what I was saying about colors and chroma. So you see these are two different colors. Like, yeah, so, but their values are very close together. Like very, very similar. And that's what this kind of illustrates. Oh, why am I drawing? No, this, I'm drawing the squirrel on the mushroom layer. Okay, now I have to delete this layer and rename this one to squirrel. Squirrel. So yeah. So what I'm doing is I was telling you about how colors and values are independent sort of each other, and why thinking in values is very important because of contrast. You need contrast in your life and in your illustration. You always do. Now, you might be wondering why, if I told you about how I love working with the pen tool, why am I not using the pen tool on the squirrel? Why did I just do it with the tree? Well, I kind of don't like to limit myself to just using a tool the way I started using it. So sure, I could have used the pen tool on the squirrel, but I just felt like using the brush, so I did. I mean, you don't have to conform to a certain way of doing things. Even if it's your way of doing things, you can always be like open to change. I kind of always do what I feel like doing. Like if I feel like working in this workflow, I will use it. If not, I will search for, I don't know, another option. If I like this tool and I use it, it doesn't mean that I have to use it all the time forever in the same way. That's the beauty of being free to experiment. So I'm giving this squirrel, I'm giving it a different color, but it's very likely that in the end, it will just be like the same color as the tree, because it's like obscured in the darkness, like Batman, but not quite like Batman. And I don't really like what's going on here with these hairs. And I'm going to go for a pen pressure here. And I activated pen pressure on my brush. And this is something I do a lot. Like I improvise with my brushes on the spot, because I played around with the brushes panel for quite a lot these past years. And I kind of know how and what I want to see from my brush. So I can just go to the brush panel and just alter it like to suit my needs for the moment, and then just not save it. But if you guys are curious as to how I just did that, I just went to shape dynamics, size, jitter, control, pen pressure with the minimum diameter set to 1%. And that basically makes the brush taper out at the ends when you use a lighter stroke on your tablet. Otherwise, I can just disable it, and it's the same brush that I've been using. The greatest brush ever. Right. So this is the squirrel. So let's get back to the trees, because I was doing the trees. And I'm just going to go wild with the layers. This is really, like, this thing with the layers for me is also because I kind of, like, I love me some layers because I can cheat my way in them. Like, I can just not worry about these edges here because it's on a different layer. And I can just not really care that much. I'm just now seeing the chat. You're being racist. I'm not racist. I'm a totally not racist person. And I love all trees, no matter their color. Why can't trees be black? I'm pretty sure there are black trees somewhere in this world. Even lighter. And I'm just gonna go over the deer because I'm gonna draw that later. I'm gonna paint that later. So like these guys here, these trees, they have these edges here, you know, but it's fine because they're far away. They're gonna be like in the background. So that's really fine. You don't have to be like very precise. But it's a good idea to turn your line art layer on and off and just check that out and see how that's going. And see how that's working out. So you can see that they kind of fade into the background. Like I've started from this really deep, dark color and it's kind of going towards the blue. I think this one has to be darker still. Yeah, that's better. And I'll probably just be constantly adjusting these colors to suit my needs. Like I said last night, this is totally a learning process for me. This is something, I mean, this is a way, it's kind of a way that I've done illustration before, but at the same time, not really. First of all, because I'm with you guys and you're watching me, and this is this is nice in a way, but at the same time, it's something different. You know, it's like I don't like change and stuff. And it's a workflow that I've kind of worked with before, but I'm sort of adapting it actually with stuff that I've seen other people do. And I'm explaining things to you, but at the same time, I'm learning things as well. So this is even lighter. And yeah. So there's this awesome, I was recommending an awesome book last night called Color and Light by James Gurney. And James Gurney is this amazing painter. He paints basically in every medium. He paints, he draws like in charcoal and oils and sorry, acrylics and like everything, every medium known to man. Let's just paint over the deer, fuck it. And he's really awesome. And he has this book called Color and Light, which is really cool. And it really explains, like I said, the way that color and light work and the way that they work together and stuff like that. And he has this other book called Imaginative Realism. And this book just came in the mail. I ordered it separately and it just came in the mail and I'm dying to take a look. But I've read reviews online and everybody's saying that it's also very, very good for concept artists and for people who are more focused on on fantasy stuff. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer that even though you do something that might not like directly relate to the area in which you want to improve, like say for example, like how I'm an illustrator, I'm a graphic artist, but I've done all sorts of stuff, like different stuff. Like I've studied architecture, I played violin when I was little. I got into computer programming in high school and loved it. And I did all these sorts of things that were really different from what I'm doing now. I studied architecture in college, and I found that everything that I did improved me as a person and improved my work along with me as a person. So not to sound like very cliche, but nothing you do is for nothing. Like everything you do contributes to who you are as a person. And that in itself reflects in how you approach your art and your illustration and your job, like whatever job you have, even if you're not an artist. So I find that even if you don't want to be a concept artist, you want to be an illustrator and do stuff like illustration stuff. And that's fine. That's totally okay. But you can totally check out what concept artists are doing specifically because it will help you in some way, like in some subconscious way. You will find something in how they do stuff and how they explain stuff that will help you in how you do your stuff. And that's like, I've tested that theory on myself, and it is true. I'm just trying to find. Oh, this is so difficult. God damn it. Like, and these values, here I am checking my values. And as you can see, these values are totally screwed up. This should be way lighter than it actually is. And this should be even lighter. And I think the background should be lighter still. Like something like this, maybe. And now this one should be on a different layer. And it should be darker. And this one should be lighter. And now let's check our values. And now that seems to be a little bit better, I think. Now, this one. Hello, the sick and the crazy, and welcome back to the stream. This is part 2. Yeah, we're adding color, but even though we're adding color, it's still like pretty monochromatic if you look at it. So yeah, I was saying that no matter what you do, it will reflect on how you work and how you do your art. And it's probably better to have really different experiences, like I don't know, have all sorts of hobbies or passions that are seemingly unrelated to art, but that really fill you up with positive energy and inspiration. I don't think I have such hobbies. I mean, I like gaming. well, Radosh is going to laugh at me because he says I'm a casual. I'm a filthy casual. But I like gaming in my filthy casual way. I like losing at Hearthstone a lot. Though I hit rank 11. That was my best rank a few seasons ago. Just checking my edges here. Want them to be raggedy, but not really that raggedy. I want to have like nice, smooth, raggedy edges, if that makes any sense to anyone here. So I don't know which part is more boring. I don't know if the sketch part was boring or if this adding color is more boring. Now, these are too close together again. I don't get it. Why? Why are they so close? Like, it's totally supposed to be lighter. Even lighter. I was rank 11 on Hearthstone. That was my best. And damn it, I tried like this last season. I had this really amazing. I played this this Death Rattle Priest deck and Cancer Lock because I don't really have all the cards to play Handlock. Because if I could play Handlock, I'd probably win a lot more games. But yeah, so I tried my luck with this Death Rattle Priest, and I had, you know, I did pretty good, and I got to rank 12 again, like 4 stars in rank 12. The fuck am I doing? And then I had this awful losing streak. Like, I played for shit. I don't know. I got really bad matchmaking. I don't even know. I don't want to blame the game because I'm not really a very good player anyway. But I lost, and I ended up back in rank 13 or something. And that frustrated me a lot. So, and right now, I don't know what rank I am right now. I think I'm like 19 or 18 or something. I don't know if I have the strength to carry on. So this is going to be like in the same plane with this one. And I suck at arena so badly. And I watch a lot of streams. Like, I watch Trump stream and Forsen and Crip and Hafu. But it's like I just, it doesn't stick. Like, I think my best arena run was like 6-3. Yeah, I'm knowledgeable, but I suck. It's like I know the cards and I know the decks, but I suck. I guess I don't really put a lot of effort into it. Like, for me, it's fun. So I am filthy casual. Yeah, I never played Magic Gathering. This is the first ever card game that I'm into. Wow, 11-3, that's good. I think Radish got 12 wins. He'll have to confirm. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm up to the task of drawing a Hearthstone card. It's I think it's way harder than it seems. And there was this I think I don't know if it ended, but there was this contest to illustrate a goblin or a gnome with a weapon for the GVG launch. And there were so many awesome submissions. Like, they were literally so cool. And I think it's past my skill level, honestly. I don't think I'm there yet. Or if it's not past my skill level, I just don't feel ready. I'm not ready yet, at least. I have some more studying to do before I get to that level. When I first started adding these colors, I said to myself that I'm going to use the pen tool and just like quickly add the trees. Now I find myself working with the brush, and I don't mind. I'm just not sure if these rather painterly edges are what I actually want, but we'll see, I guess. I'm trying to go about this as fast as I can and not waste a lot of time. So let's go back to the line art. Right, so what's wrong with the pen tool? This is even lighter, but this is the same color, so it's supposed to be even lighter. This is too green. I think I have to desaturate it. I think it was looking kind of dull. So I'm going to just try to up the saturation a bit. I wasn't really very pleased with the color scheme. This one's too purple. So now it's pretty okay, but these are, there's very little contrast here. These are going to get lost in the background, but I'm going to shade them. And they're going to be like silhouettes. So it's going to be okay. But I have to go even lighter for this background. So I'm going to take this color And I'm going to go even lighter. And that's going to be a problem because of the background, because this is like way too light. What are you doing? What's going on? I thought you were supposed to be good at this. Yes, I know. I know. I'm asking myself the same questions. I wonder if I should try adding some music to the stream. Should I try? I don't even know. You'd probably hate it. I don't think there's any way I can finish this tonight. It was a beautiful dream, but not at this rate. And here I'm just going to cheat like I told you that I would. And I'm going to draw these in the background, and then I'm going to make a new layer and draw on top of them and not care. And be like, yeah, whatever, edges. I don't care about you. And not at all, because I can draw on top of you. Maybe this one can still be a little darker, like so. No, no edges. Yes, I am a fast typer, and I am aware of the fact that my typing sounds are very loud, and they sound like somebody is knocking your skull in with a hammer, so I apologize for that. The problem is that I need a shock mount for my microphone. I'm using this awesome Blue Yeti microphone, and it's like studio quality. It's absolutely amazing, but it picks up everything. Like, it picks up the sound of my cat licking his ass in his bed. I mean, in my bed. And because it's on my desk, when I type, it picks up the vibrations and it sounds awful. And I'm sorry for that. I apologize. I'm gonna put this on a different layer. Almost done with the trees, yo. Oh. I said I was gonna. Oh, right. Oh. What happened here? This overlap. This is not okay. I think if I used the pen tool, I would be done by now. I definitely think that. But since I didn't, and I don't really know why, like I can't explain why. I just felt like using the brush tool to do this. And now it's too late. Now I have to use the brush tool. But it's okay. It's fine. We'll make it. Hopefully. Let's go back to the line art. I did like the first tree in the foreground with the pen tool. And then I rasterized it and I went over it with the brush where I felt that it was required. I don't know why I didn't do that again with this. So this is that. Okay. And this is like the same. And what I want is for like so there is no in between. This is it, right? You can just put one here. Hey, Paula, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to check the chat, and when I do, I get distracted because I can see the stream in the chat. So there we are, trees. And I'm gonna group these because there's a lot of them. Now if I check my values, this is pretty okay, I guess. I could go for like a lighter blue here. Oh, wait, right. Go for like oh, what's this? What's this? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just messing around with this. And I'm going to put the ground in. And I definitely want it to be lighter. So this is going to be snow. Although it doesn't really make sense that he's in the snow, because he's wearing like whatchamacallit, shorts and a short sleeve t-shirt. So that's pretty counterintuitive. Maybe I should like give him a jacket. Damn it, I should have thought of that. Faux shizzle. Still not happy with how these trees are looking. Like the values. I'm not happy with these values. I'm just gonna lighten them up a bit even more. How about now? Yeah, this is better. This one is kind of dark though. Gonna light that up a bit. Yeah, this looks better. This looks better, and now this can go darker, like so. How about if I turn off the line art? Yeah, that looks better. That definitely looks better. So these are going to be the trees, yeah. And this is my color scheme inspiration. So I can't I really want to make the ground I want to get that snowy, wintry feel, but I kind of thought of that after I drew the character last night. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to change him. I'm going to have to give him like long pants and a jacket or something, because it's just ridiculous. He can't be in the cold like that. So I'm just going to start filling in the character. And let's go for the pinkish, sort of rosy color for his face. Oh, what's going on? Oh, right. And as you can see, I'm kind of growing tired of the brush tool. I'm going to use the pen tool again. This part I'm not really interested in because his hair is going to come in. And let's give him... Oh, no. I'm going to have to make a new shape for the hair. And you guys must be really patient to watch me do this. I don't know if I would have the patience required to see this through. Because for some reason I'm moving rather slowly. Don't exactly know why. And I think last night I was way more talkative. Right now, I have no idea. I kind of talked through the first hour. I blabbered on. But now I'm all out of insights. So ta-da. There we go. And now let's have the neck. Actually, I said I'm going to give him a jacket. So this is going to be like the neckline for his jacket. And let's go for a purple, I think. For now, at least. For now. I think his hair can be a different color. Maybe more like this. Yeah. To keep the overall tones. And his face can be like rosier, I think. Like a darker color. I think we can go even darker. Right, so this will be the neckline. And now I'm going to give him a jacket. And let's just draw the shape directly over everything that's happening here. Ta-da! He has a jacket. Sort of. Well, it's going to be a jacket. Be patient. Yeah, I can talk about the cat. The cat is in the bed and it's doing nothing. And the cat's name is Ferdinand. And he's a lazy fucker. And I'm thankful that he's doing nothing, because before he wanted outside, then he wanted in, then he wanted outside again, because, you know, that's what cats do. They just can't make up their damn mind. And right now he's sleeping. He's fast asleep. And I'm very grateful for that. It's like I'm a mom of a baby, and the baby is always like crying and stuff. And so I'm grateful that the baby's finally asleep and he can leave me alone to my own things that I'm doing. Yep, that looks okay-ish. I think I'm gonna put out his sleeve here and yeah, that's better. Way better. Now his nose, on the other hand, it doesn't quite fit. No, I'm not trying to just copy this perfectly, but it's a good idea to just try to get it pretty much right. This is going to be his backpack. So at this point, the colors that you're seeing are just, you know, random colors that I'm adding just to get an idea, and just to put the shapes down. They're probably going to change. They're most likely going to change. But for the purposes of laying down the shapes, they're good enough. They're totally good. And I don't want his pants to be very baggy, because he's like a skinny kid. If they were short pants, the contrast between the pants and the thickness of the leg, or the thinness of the leg in itself, was very visually appealing and stimulating. Now, because we don't have shorts, because it's winter, and because our guy is wearing like long pants, like let's give him jeans and stuff, it's better to have skinnier pants so that you can sort of, you know, get the figure. And these are pants. I'm just gonna, what's this? Oh, this is the strap. So you guys that are watching this stream, feel free to say something in the chat and start up a conversation, because I got nothing. I mean, I'm just ranting here. Paula told me to talk about the cat, but the cat is not doing that much, so I can't really talk about the cat. And I can talk about what I'm doing, but I'm actually doing like the same thing. Yoga pants, yeah. But not really. I can talk about what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is mostly like the same thing at this point. And I can commentate. I mean, that's actually what I'm doing. I'm commentating. I'm telling you guys what I'm doing. But, you know, it's not that fascinating at this point. So let's give him some really nice magenta-ish Converse shoes thingies. Hey, Seneca Artwork. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. Myself and my future plans. Well, I don't really know what to tell you there. I think that, I don't know, most of my plans don't really go that far into the future. And that's because I've never been a planner. I mean, I've always kind of gone with the wind. I can read the messages because I have two screens and I'm sharing one screen with you and the other is the one that I'm reading the messages on. And it's not Illustrator, it's Photoshop. So yeah. So I've never really planned any sorts of stuff. I didn't even plan on becoming an illustrator. I mean, I talked about this last night on stream. I loved drawing since I was a little kid, and that was really nice. But I never thought that I would actually be able to support myself by doing that. And after I abandoned, you know, like the really crappy art high school in my hometown when I was in 8th grade, and I went for math, science-oriented high school. And I kind of abandoned like the idea of doing it professionally until I thought about, you know, I was supposed to apply for college and I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like I thought about computer programming because I really loved it. And my dad was a programmer and all sorts of, you know, he did all sorts of computer related stuff. But I wasn't really sure. And there was this classmate of mine who, no worries. There was this classmate of mine who said that she wanted to go to architecture, to the architecture university. And that sounded really nice because, you know, my parents were always, my mom at least, was always very supportive of my artistic inclinations. She would always and like constantly tell me to draw and praise my, you know, my artistic endeavors, and she'd always say that she's really proud of me. My mom had like this amazing sort of hobby of drawing, and she used to be quite good at it at some point. She became really good when she was like 16, and her mom told her that being an artist is not a real job and that she should become a doctor. So her mom was like an Asian parent. She was like, call me when you're doctor. That was really racist. I'm sorry. I'm not racist. But anyway, and because she never got to actually do this for herself, she was really supportive of me and my attempt. So yeah. But she told me that if I would go to, she told me that she had this bias that I wouldn't be able to, she was worried that I wouldn't be able to support myself after I finished college if I would go to art school and study painting, because to me, to become an artist was this entire, you know, ritual thing that you did where you went to art school and you were like really weird and bohemian and stuff. And you learn a lot of stuff. And I think you can hear my cat snoring, which is really funny. Yeah, and you went to art school and you acted like a weirdo and you dressed fancy and funny. And after you finished college, you just moved into an attic in Paris and just painted your life away, and people would just adore you for being an artist. So that was like my image, my very naive image of what it meant to be a successful artist. And my mom, she was kind of worried, and she said that I can do whatever I want and I can go to art school if I wanted to. But if after I finish college, I can't support myself, she would not welcome me back into the house. She said that you are definitely not moving back with us if you fail to get an actual paying job after you finish college. And that made me think about, okay, so I can't go to art school because I'm probably going to, starve to death before I can make it to that attic in Paris and stuff. And when this classmate of mine told me that she was going to go to take some private lessons and attempt to apply for architecture school, I was like, yeah, that sounds fun, because in my mind, architects made a shitload of money, but at the same time that they did something like really cool, which was basically architecture. So I did that, and I studied interior design, actually, not architecture. And in my third year, and I kind of settled with the idea that I'm going to be an interior designer. And I was like, okay, this might be fun. I mean, I enjoyed what I did in college, but I kept drawing, like this was my hobby. And yeah, it was soul crushing. Like I kind of became accustomed to the idea that, I don't know, I have this very weird, I'm a wuss in general, and I bitch and I complain a lot. But when I know that I have to do something to get somewhere and stuff, I'm most likely gonna bitch and kind of whine my way through it, but I'm gonna do it. And it was that way with architecture school. I bitch and I whine about architecture school to anybody who listens. It was hard. It was soul crushing. It was humiliating at times. And Paula Dutza, who is in the chat, was in the same group as me in college, and she can confirm that it was soul crushing. But I knew that I had to do it. I had to finish it. Like if I started it, I should finish it, because otherwise it was such a waste of time and nothing good would come out of it. And it would be really, really shitty if I would, just give up like that. But so I just kind of became accustomed to the idea that that's what I'm going to do. And then in my third year, I found this ad for a workshop called Visual Playground. And this workshop was organized by my now good friend, roommate, and future partner in business, Paula Russo, who I don't know if she's in the chat, but yeah, she's amazing. And she was a student in her third year at CNSPA, and she was organizing this workshop for artists, for young student artists. And oh no, what am I doing? Not on this layer, man, not on this layer. I just started drawing on the wrong layer. No biggie. And yeah, so for people who are interested in illustration and design and typography and all sorts of stuff. And at that point, I kept drawing and posting stuff to Tumblr and stuff, and had my own site with drawings, just because it was something I loved to do. It was my passion. It was my hobby. It was the only thing at that point that made me truly happy, because it was like, if I had a bad day, I would just go home and grab a beer and draw something and post it online. And that was the thing that made me the happiest, like drawing stuff and posting it. I don't know if people appreciated it back then, but it's for us, it was 5 years actually. And I'm not talking in Romanian because I don't know. I want this video to be recorded, and I want to post it to my YouTube channel. And if anybody who is not Romanian wants to listen to it, I think they should understand what I'm saying. But why? I think I'm pretty fluent. I mean, I get my ideas across at least. Anyway, so yeah. And this workshop seemed like a really good idea because I really wanted to explore this side of drawing and stuff. And I went to this workshop and I met one of the, actually not one, but a lot of awesome people that I'm still friends with now. And besides the people that I met there, the speakers from the workshops, they were amazing. And it kind of just changed my outlook on what it means to be a successful artist and how you can succeed as an artist, even in Romania. And that was the moment when I realized that screw interior design. I don't want to be an interior designer. I want to be an illustrator. I don't even know what that means fully. I mean, I really didn't know what that meant at that point. But I knew that that was what I wanted to do. And that I was going to do it no matter what. And yeah, and that was in 2010. And now we're close to 2014, 15. And this is my life. And I want to become a successful illustrator. And I'm working towards that. And kind of like everything else that came after was just linked to that, because the people that I met at the workshop were people that now work in advertising and in the industry. And if not them, then other people, you know, friends of friends of friends. And that's how I got projects. And pretty much that's how I ended up doing this. And it kind of snowballs, you know, in a way. Like, if you start doing it, like the hardest thing is to start doing something without there being somebody behind your back nagging you to do it. Like, do it. You have to do it. That's why art school is good. It's not because it teaches you something that you can't learn on your own. That's bullshit. But it's because it creates this environment in which you're obligated to do stuff, or else you flunk and you fail. And if you care about that, you won't. Like, you'll do stuff. So it's the hardest part is just getting off your ass and saying, okay, I need to do this in order to get where I want. These are the steps that I have to follow, and I will follow them no matter how hard or boring or frustrating or whatever it is. I'm just going to do it. And I'm still fighting myself. Romanian artist. Well, as far as I can tell, you can start by posting a lot of your work online, because of course there's business to do in Romania as an artist. You can do stuff, but you will most likely be more satisfied when you will start working with foreign clients. That's a given. Like, that's pretty much obvious, but you can. And the thing is that I, for example, most of the local clients that I work with are agencies, are advertising agencies. And you can sometimes get nice jobs in advertising as an illustrator, as a freelance illustrator, that you can add to your portfolio. Like, I had the Cine Minis project with Senior Hyper, which is part of the Low group. And it was pretty great. I mean, I think that was one of the most positive experiences that I've had with Romanian agencies. I've also worked with McCann on some awesome projects. It really depends, but it's mostly about knowing people, networking. I would be a liar if I said that it's about how good you are. It's about the people that you know. And you have to, like, invest time in getting to know the people and making a name for yourself. Of course, there's always the principle that if you build it, they will come. So if you're really good at what you do and you post it online and you try to get as much publicity as you can online, at some point, something's got to give. Like, people are going to start to notice you in one way or another. So, there's all sorts of ways to go about doing this, but it really depends. So I should finish putting in the animals. I am very tempted to start working on the kid, like render the kid, but I shouldn't. I should just group him up. Kid. And just finish putting in the owl and the deer. Otherwise, I'm going to waste a lot of time on the kid and just lose sight of what I'm doing, what I'm actually doing. So, yeah, think about the color of the deer. What should the color of the deer be? I'll go for like an orangey thing. I don't know. Let's try. Yeah, you do have to get out of the house at first, because now for example, I don't really get out of the house anymore, but I still get jobs. And it's ironic because I don't get out of the house because I have jobs that I have to do. And the thing is that before I started working a lot, just a minute. Before I started working a lot, I did a lot of pro bono stuff. Like I started working with Decatore Vista, and I made a lot of illustrations for them, and for galleries like Aquarela, which I'm actually working for right now. And all sorts of other stuff that I did. And you shouldn't work pro bono. Like, the world shouldn't have to, you shouldn't have to do that. But the thing is that if you're just starting out, you have to. It's how it is. Because working pro bono means that you can actually exercise your craft and, for a newcomer, make a name for yourself. But I don't mean working pro bono for like big companies that just don't want to pay you because they want to skip out on the budget for freelancers, and they're like rolling in the dough and you're the schmuck who just works for free. No, I mean like actually working for things that you like. Like I worked for the Cultura Vista magazine because I really like the magazine, and when they asked me to do stuff, and anyway, a lot of people like work pro bono for them as contributors. And when they asked me to do an illustration, I was like, damn, of course I'm going to do that because I really like your magazine. So it's really nice. So I get to have something to put in my portfolio, and at the same time learn something maybe and get some exposure, because your magazine caters to the kind of people that I wanna impress. That's not a good word, but to the kind of people that I want to see my work, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about the working pro bono part. Yeah, I mean, not starting out as an artist. I mean, like in terms of experience, I mean, starting out like just starting to work freelance work, perhaps. So this owl. I have to start this owl now. I don't really know. Like, there's not really really a recipe for success, I guess, for this. I guess it really depends on what kind of thing you want to do, what kind of art, in what area, etc., etc. But like I said, if you build it, they will come, and they would be best. It would be best if they would be like international clients and not Romanian clients, because it's just really hard to get Romanian clients to work with you and to have like reasonable expectations and reasonable pricing and all that. It's just really hard for Romanians. And it's because I think we don't yet have a real culture. Like, people don't really respect the thing that you do. I mean, some people do, but a lot of people who have money don't. They're like exactly the people who say that being an artist isn't a real job. And the people that say, hey, you know, like, how come you want so much money for this? Like, it only took you a few hours or a day or two or whatever. And it's not about that. It's not about how much time it takes me to make this image that you're seeing. It's about how much time I invested in learning how to do this. And you're paying me because you can't, and I can do this. So that's the thing. But a lot of people don't get that yet. Yeah, graphic novels, that's a biggie. They're awesome, but I don't think you can actually do it like they do it on the outside. I mean, I have this friend, I'm sure you've heard of him, Robert Obert. His name is, well, that's not his real name, but that's his nickname. And he just published a graphic comic novel, something called The Urban Prophecy. And as far as I know, he crowdfunded it and like produced it himself, sort of. So, you know, this market in Romania is growing, but it's gonna take a while. Like it always takes a lot. So okay. Ah, shit. Where did these go? Why did you... Oh, come on, go back there. Get back there. Right. So this is going to be basically it for this thing. Right. So let me just think about this for a bit. This, I think it's too bright. It would be better off like this. And it's going to distract attention from the kid. What if we make his hair like the deer's? Perhaps darker. But overall like this. Thank you. Music. Actually, I don't think I'm going to put any music on at this point because I'm going to close down the stream at about 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and a half. And this is not because you guys are not pretty awesome. You guys are pretty awesome. But I just, talking and drawing at the same time is making me kind of slow. And I really have to finish, or if not finish, then at least get as close to finishing as possible at this point. So I'm probably gonna just do this for like 40 more minutes maximum to see how fast I can do stuff in that time. And if not, then I'm gonna close down the stream, sadly. If I didn't have this like really pressing deadline, I would be totally okay with just doing that. But alas, I'm gonna showcase some brushes that I was talking about. Just 1 minute. Yeah, I was talking about some brushes that I was going to showcase. There's this guy called Kyle Webster, and he makes these amazing, amazing brushes that I really, really love. I've described them in detail in the previous video from last night. And I'm just going to load all of these up. These are tool presets. And I bought his whole set. But I don't know where I had these. Just wait a minute. The gouache set. He has this set that imitates gouache, and it's just amazing. I love it, and I wanted to use it for this illustration. And I can't find it, so I'm just going to have to re-download it. Purchases. And I'm going to start working on the kid, and that means that you guys will get to see these brushes in action. Which brush do you want? The greatest brush ever? And yeah, dear Ryan, you're going to see the illustration at the event, I hope. I hope it's going to be ready. So are they downloaded yet? Yes, they are. Load them into Photoshop. Yes, they are loaded. And now you can see that I have this paint box here with gouache. And they're really nice. Like, I'm going to start working on the kid, like I said. Put this, be like a bristle type stuff. And the effects you can get with it are absolutely crazy. But hey, I haven't checked my values in quite a while, and I was going to do that actually. See, this is a problem here because this deer is like almost the same color, the same value. And I want it to be a little bit darker. Also, these pants. Or I guess these pants are okay, but this should be lighter, I think. All right. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see that the second post, that not the one about this stream, but the one with the recording in it, has a link to a Dropbox that contains the greatest brush ever. And so you can find it there. Yeah, this is the good stuff. The good stuff. Oh no, the cat wants out of the room. Be right back. Yeah, the hands are too long, but that's part of the concept in a way. You'll just have to take my word for it because I don't want to ruin it. It's going to be a surprise. So you'll just have to take my word for it that this has a purpose. And a meaning. Yeah, the concept of this expo is the hug. So basically, he's hugging something, but it's outside of the canvas, right? So he's reaching for something outside of the canvas. Bye, Paula. Good night. It's okay. I'm not gonna stream forever because I really have to finish. So like I said, I was gonna soon enough, I'm probably just gonna end the stream, I mean, and keep on working because I'm kind of slower in the stream because I keep talking while I'm doing this. So it's really not such a good idea. And I think I just hit my 2-hour mark. So I'm going to shut this down. That sounds so dramatic. But it was really nice having you guys here again, or maybe new viewers. And I'm definitely going to do this again. But I don't think it's such a good idea to do it while I have this pressing deadline. However, I will post this illustration online when it's finished, and I hope that I'm going to finish it in time. And if I am going to finish it in time, which would be awesome, you guys will be able to see it at Aquarela. Thursday is going to be the opening day night of the event, and you are welcome to join. And you will probably see this illustration in its final form over there. So, yeah, I will be streaming again. I will post. You can like my Facebook page. I'm probably going to post there every time I'm going to have a new stream up. I post illustrations, I post sketches, and all sorts of stuff that I do. And if you want to keep up with what I do, you can also follow me on Twitter. And yeah, so thank you guys a lot for watching, and have a good night, and bye-bye.